So thank you everyone. I'm the director of the Flinders NT Katherine campus. I'm in Katherine, and Maddie is a lecturer in Aboriginal health. And every year we run a weekend, a long weekend on the Queen's birthday weekend on a remote health experience. So this year was the first time I've run it. I was involved last year, but we've run it for about 8 years, but I'm just going to give you some of the results for this year. Oh yes, sorry. Could I just acknowledge the Kalkadoon people? I get in trouble if I don't do that, sorry. The Kalkadoon people and the leaders, past, present and emerging, and particularly Karen West. You've got an easy name to remember, Karen. Anyway, so who gave one of the best welcome to country speeches I've heard. Anyway, we'll go on to this. So the remote health experience, we have it over 3 days, usually in March. It's in the Katherine Rural CDU campus, and it's a campus just outside of Katherine with accommodation, a dining room and everything, rooms, so it can accommodate about 110, 120 people. It's a collaboration with a lot of organisations around Katherine, including Charles Darwin University, Batchelor Institute, Worley Health Service, which is the Aboriginal Medical Services Katherine area, Sunrise Aboriginal Health Services, which is around Katherine East. Southeast. The hospital, St John's Ambulance and IHA, which is Indigenous Allied Health Australia. Now, I'd get in trouble if I didn't acknowledge them too. So we have about 80 students from a variety of professions. Clinical science, we trialled this year with first year and second year. First year medical students, second year nursing, around second year pharmacy, and some allied health students from a variety of years, mainly from IHA. And we gather them all together and they come down to Katherine campus. Now the three main objective areas is to develop an understanding of remote health, to improve interprofessional communication and respect for other professions, and improve understanding and confidence in working with Aboriginal clients. So I'm going to talk about the first two, and then Maddie's going to talk about the third. So this is basically just a program. I'm not going to read it through. You can all see it. So they arrive around lunchtime on Friday. We have various activities. The big day is Saturday, where we have 6 skill stations. All the students are broken up into groups so that all the groups contain a mixture of professions, and then they go through various activities. With the developing of an understanding of remote, one of the first things we do is a presentation about what is remote versus rural. For a lot of people, there's still a very poor understanding about that. And then we have different 10-minute presentations around different health professionals. So I did one about remote area nursing, we have remote medicine, pharmacy, paramedics, so we did a variety of that, and then we had a few interactive exercises where all the students could be involved. Then with the Saturday this is the 6 skill stations where they participate as an interprofessional group. And the skill stations, a lot of them are emergency, but some of them are designed to, the most popular one for the nurses is the bush telephone call. The pharmacy students tend to like the anaphylaxis because that was taught by a pharmacist and a doctor. Trachoma screening, and that was really liked by everybody. So, but we have really tried to look at following a model that was developed at Flinders, and Hugh Grantham was involved with developing this model around interprofessional education. And they've developed 5 stages, whereas a lot of what we do what I'll speak for myself, what we've done in the past is just put students of different professions in the classroom and call that interprofessional education. Whereas really true interprofessional education is more complex than that. And they've come away with 5 stages. So the first stage is inquiry, recognition, unfreezing, reflection, insight, and I'll actually go through the stages a little bit more. So the first stage is the introduction and acquisition of preliminary knowledge. So a lot of students think that they understand the other groups, professional groups, but they're blocked from really inquiring about what that other profession does by that confidence that they already know. So this is trying to challenge them that there's actually a lot there that they don't know. And this is really set up when we get the different professions to talk and interact. Then there's the unfreezing from initial perceptions. So there's people are challenged that, they don't really have an understanding of that other group, and this is to try and unblock them to really open up to learning. Then there's reflection and insight, where is an opportunity to reflect in an interprofessional group and revisit understanding of each other's roles. One of the first things on the first day we use is a fishbowl exercise, where students sit around and we put one person in a room with medical makeup on and they've got to say, what do you see? And it's interactive, and Hugh that runs it, and he gets students up, go talk to the patient, kneel down at their level, and there's a lot of laughter, but a lot of really good learning about recognition that other professions are pretty good. This year was the first year for a long time we didn't have Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health practitioners. We have them every year at Tent. It's just a cyclone hit. And Bachelor Campus got lost electricity and they got sent home. So, which was a shame, because the previous year we ran that, it was really obvious to everyone that the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health practitioners are one who's excelled in this area. So for other first year medical students, second year nursing students, it was a real eye-opener. And then the opportunity to re-challenge, to work within that interprofessional group and develop that understanding of each other's roles by the skill stations the next day. And then sort of allowing students to really sit back and think and reflect and to reform or to transform what they know about that other profession or those other professions. So again, we do that in skill stations. There's cultural activities embedded throughout the whole weekend, and they have meals together, and we try and encourage them not to, all the medical students sit at one table and whatever. It usually starts off everyone sitting together and then ends up a lot more mixed up. So this is one of the skill stations. And then I'll just hand over to Maddie.
Thank you, Sue. Can you hear me okay? Yep, okay. What about now? Oh, yeah. Just testing. So I too would like to acknowledge the traditional owners, the Kalkadoon peoples, and thank you, Karen, Auntie Pat and colleagues for your insight and sharing your personal stories yesterday. We feel privileged, I say we because it's never about I. We feel privileged to share a couple of the slides with some of the results that are based on strength-based elements of culture and relationships between the Bunajil women and authenticity with the students interacting. So here, this slide here is just improving the understanding of and confidence. Is there a comma meant to go there? Confidence in working with Aboriginal clients. So the Bunajil Strongwilla women group I've been working with, I say I now, but I'll be inclusive in a minute. I've been working with for many years, and in saying that, Kylie Stothers, who's from iHouse sitting at the front, a Jawan woman from Catherine, thank you Kylie, also works very closely with me and helps to guide me in a lot of things, and mentoring especially. Although she's younger, I'm prettier. So Bunajil Strongwilla Women's Group and partners stayed at the campus with us. Cheeky, eh? Where you get that from? And they did the welcome to country with all the students. So when you come up to the territory, students, you will be welcomed, and I'll be there to welcome you too. They have smoking ceremony, the traditional storytelling, kinship system and bush medicine. And in saying that, it was my role, along with Kylie, to assist students to make sure that they were trying to engage or have some knowledge or tools to start engaging with the Bunajil Strombola Women's Group and their husbands. So we also acknowledged that their husbands came along, and Jack, who was, 9? So I'll call him Uncle, and we'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. So it was actually part of our role to link the components of health and culture together and make it a safe environment for the students. It wasn't until the second day, even though we did 3, but that's pretty good, I think. Second day, where students started to interact a bit more and did some conversations and talking with the Bunajil women and the men, more so with the older women because they knew they'd just get bossed anyway. But it was something that was good to see, and it was actually showing how the students were using their initiative to actually start having those conversations and not be frightened face about it. Here down the bottom we have some pictures. So we have Auntie Margaret Catherine. So Auntie Margaret Catherine is one of the traditional owners for the Jawan people, and we work a lot with Auntie Margaret. She's getting old now, poor Bella. But she came there and she welcomed all the students, and we have next door the story with the picture with the storytelling. That was actually really good for the students to see that, and it was out of their stress environment, and it was actually outside. So I would encourage people to do that a bit more often and work outside instead of these walls. But anyway, and then we have the bush medicine there. So that's an important component, I think, with anything to do with health, especially Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health. We have to acknowledge that and take that on board. The bush medicine there, we took about 20 minutes to collect that around the Flinders University and out near the Catherine Gorge. Any has heard the Catherine Gorge? You been there? Go again. So there's some great medicines there, and we talked to the students and we told them we've got billy goat plum bush here, you might can taste. And they all had a taste. Oh, that's real good. I said, yeah, it's nice, that salty plum, eh? Poor, you know about salty plum? You must sabi salty plum or what? Salty plum is a fruit. It's from the Chinese mob, and that we eat it. Us mob love it. Anyway, we just did a bit of tricking. Okay, I'll move on. Went over the head, sorry. Yeah. It did trick the students. I'm just a bit slow. That's all right. So we saw this as a responsive style of teaching, and it was deliberate to create a learning environment that was safe for the students, so that connection could be there. There was a lot of laughs, there was a lot of jokes, but there's also that seriousness about it too, and understanding and respect. And I think that's one of the things, if you do a placement, is take away and learn about the Aboriginal culture that you're in and take it on board. I'm getting there. First time she's timing me, normally it's I'm doing it. So we have evaluations of the sessions and comparison of value. There's a few there, but I'm just going to point out for the kinship. Oh, mouse worked for me. Kinship and the Aboriginal storytelling and the bush medicine. And we're just going along here, and we saw that the disciplines of nursing and allied health probably rated the highest out of the strongly disagree 1 to strongly disagree agree 2. Which was actually quite interesting for us. And again, as the overall evaluation, concentrating on the Aboriginal cultural learning, as you can all read. Again, it was the the nursing and allied health that had the highest score. Not saying that anything bad for the other students, but there's some work we've got to do there, I think. And these are just some comments from the evaluations. Where's my name? No gammon. So we need 2 volunteers to come up and read those out. I was joking, just getting out there. It's all right, relax. Okay, so I think if we embed culture in a lot of the placements that we have in our communities, I think it's a good start to start breaking down the barriers and making people feel comfortable, that it's okay to have a conversation with us. We're not going to bite you, maybe hang you up somewhere and dry out, but we probably won't. We're good people, we know how to have conversations, we're very educated, and we know how to have these conversations. So thank you, and any students that come up to Catherine, you're very welcome. Mandaj.